hold to allow for some movement of people and goods. That will give enough time for them to do actual construction work on this side. So what you are seeing is more of a temporal measure. The long-term solution will be to get the bridge well constructed to be able to carry the volumes of water.
The Deputy Minister for Roads and Transport, Mr. Stephen Jalula, who visited the area to assess the extent of damage, said the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has asked the contractor to construct a steel bridge on the road.
What we are doing to bring relief to the people of Northeast who ply this road is to create a temporal steel bridge that we call Bailey Bridge at the downside of the river, so that they can use while the contractors work on the main road.
When GBC News got to the scene, a construction firm was already at the site working on the bridge.
More road infrastructure. Roads within Soviet in the Kpando municipality of the Volta region have become unmotorable due to erosion. The rains have washed most parts of the stretch, making it dangerous to travel, especially at night. Residents are therefore calling on the authorities to reconstruct the road to avert accidents and possible loss of lives.
This major highway connects Greater Accra to the northern parts of the country through Soviet in the Kpando municipality of the Volta region. Gullies have developed on portions of the highway by running water when it rains. The residents say some parts of the road caved in about 2 years ago, and with the onset of the rains, the situation on that section that were intact have worsened. The assemblyman for the area, Mr. Michael Chohe, says there is an urgent need for intervention to avoid a tragedy.
This section of the road caved in 2 years ago. This report was made to the regional office of the Ghana Highways, and also several letters went to the MCE at Kpando Municipal Assembly, but up till now no work has commenced. The road is eroding gradually and will not be surprised to have an accident here again. Assembly should be able to at least come and put some caution tape here. So we are pleading to the authorities that are concerned that they should come to our aid.
The people say it is especially dangerous to travel on the road at night as their lives are at risk.
Now, heavy rains at Pupusu Trobo in the Nkwanta South municipality has cut the entire town from neighboring communities as residents struggle to go about their normal duties. The rains caused severe flooding of several homes and destroyed property, running into tens of thousands of Ghana cedis. As a result, residents are appealing to government for the reconstruction of a bridge to help solve the perennial flooding, which makes farming difficult.
Anytime it rains, it cuts across all the road, making it unmotorable. It holds all economic activities. So the Lampu Bridge is the major bridge that connects Putupu and Brinyase. This bridge was built some years back. It was facilitated by the late at the Chancellor then, through the help of Kratchit Traditional, Local Council, and Cocoa Buying Board, Cocoa Marketing Board, and commissioned on the 20th February 1969. The bridge has never had any rehabilitation. And anytime it rains, no one can cross the bridge. Therefore, it makes farming very difficult and unwilling to go into farming, especially when you have a lot of losses during the rainy season. The inhabitants of Putupu community are predominantly 90% farmers, peasant farmers. So anytime it rains, no one can cross the stream to the farms. And most of the farms have been flooded, and crops like maize have been carried away by the water. And therefore, it doesn't make appetite for farming, especially the youth. So we are appealing to the government, the Cocoa Board, they should come to our aid, our rules. And looking outside the box, we are appealing for irrigational facilities so that the youth can be enticed to go into farming, especially during the dry season. Now we have all these river bodies around.
Away from road infrastructure, onion traders at Ajay Kotoku in Accra have expressed their sentiments about the truckloads of onion that are stuck at the Benin border due to its closure. Some of the traders say if the situation is not remedied immediately, consignment owners are likely to incur huge losses because onions may rot. A GBC News' correspondent Alan Tego interacted with traders at Ajay Kotoku.
It's interesting, but where I'm standing currently is supposed to be a pile of onions. And if you look all the way behind me, what you see in the distance are only jute bags. And those to my far right are not onions, they are ginger, also brought in from outside of Ghana. We wanted to find out how this is affecting traders here at the Ajay Kotoku onion market, because in the last few days they've been in the news calling on the regional minister as well as the foreign minister to come to their aid and speak to their counterparts across the border in Niger to allow their trucks to come in. Yakub, please join me up on this platform. Yakub, how will you say the border closure is affecting your business?
As you come, stand around here or it's occupied by onion, and there's nothing empty. There's no any bag of onions on the market. And
how long has it been since you realized your trucks are unable to come through?
It's getting to 2 weeks. The day they sit for the ECOWAS, the following day, they block the border, and we have already bagged our onion, and they have Benin, they open it Monday, slowly dosing near to Benin border. When they go out now, they block again. Now we call to the regional minister of Greater Accra region to inform the government, and they will see the interior or the foreign minister, so that you talk to the Burkina Faso president, and then talk to Benin, so they will open the border, so the cars that we loaded will come in. Maybe if it is next time, we will not do that again. As the cars come, we sell it. When they open the border, we go. If they don't open, then we have to manage it like that.
Cars in aka border honum. To say you were empty wa the Nigene wa the cars in aka honum. Onontina high wa hapa na ejinho. She Palestine na da honum bibiani. Aban ye won nsem city obey ya the cars in betima ba umumbuaye.
Onions are stuck behind the border in between Benin and Niger, and for those who are fortunate who can get through, their onions will come. But until the border is open, this is going to be the situation with our onion markets, which comes here and are further distributed across the country.
Away from Ajay Kotoku, in a 2019 study by researchers Richard Lane and David Becker at the Ulster Institute, a think tank, the highest average IQ scores in the world belong to the Japanese, with the citizens of Taiwan and Singapore close behind. Out of 199 countries in the world in this research, Ghana is ranked 190. Niger, Benin, Togo and Mali are ahead of Ghana on the IQ rating. Though these research findings tend to spark considerable debate, some believe there's some truth in it. IQ, or intelligence quotient, is a measure of a human intelligence. It is believed that the higher one's IQ score, the more intelligent that person is. But the former chief executive of Ghana's Mental Health Authority, Dr. Kwesi Osei, says a person's IQ is more than the intelligence one is born with. Let's do education. Lack of adequate financing and infrastructure is a major barrier to quality teaching and learning, especially at the basic level of education. Top of the agenda for discussion at a forum organized by the Campaign Against Privatization and Commercialization of Education was how to make financing key in implementing responsive infrastructure plans in education.
Rural education is cited as the key to success. Poor financing and inadequate resources are major impediments. Figures show that between 2008 and 2020, the basic education share of education sector expenditure reduced from 55.7% to 40%. In 2020, out of an education sector budgetary allocation of 17.7 billion Ghana cedis, only 22% was allocated to basic education compared to 32% in 2016. A report by the Ghana Statistical Service in 2022 also revealed that over 1.2 million children between the ages of 4 to 18 years have never been enrolled in any school. The head of programs at the Ghana National Campaign Coalition, Mr. Festus Longmate, said every child is entitled to quality basic education in the country.
Basic education is supposed to be compulsory for every child in this country, and as a result, we have to ensure that every child gets access to free, quality and enjoyable basic education. Let me say here that as a coalition, that has been our focus over the years, and we are there to also complement the effort of government in providing quality education for the children of this country. So everything we do in terms of our advocacy is geared towards complementing government efforts in providing quality education for this country. Let me also say here that it is extended to the pre-tertiary level.
The convener of the campaign against privatization and commercialization of education, CAPCO, Mr. Richard Korte, said over 5,000 public basic schools operate under trees and in dilapidated structures.
Currently, one of the key issues affecting the slow growth of education infrastructure is the capping of the GET fund. If for nothing at all, that fund was created to cater for education infrastructure. I'm talking about classroom block, teaching and learning resources, and teacher motivation, and those things that will make the teaching and learning process go on smoothly. But then
let's go to the international front. The United Nations and the United States of America say they are concerned about the health and safety of Niger's ousted President Mohamed Bazoum, who has spent more than 2 weeks now under house arrest. Mr. Bazoum's political party, PND Estaraya, claimed the ex-president and his family had no access to running water, electricity, fresh food or doctors. This has echoed a previous comment made by Niger's elected Prime Minister Oumoudou Mahamadou, saying that Mr. Bazoum was being held with his wife and son without electricity or water.
Members of the military junta have made no comment about the ousted leader's condition since the coup on July 26. Mr. Bazoum has been held at the presidential palace. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said he was concerned about the reportedly deplorable living conditions Mr. Bazoum and his family were in. According to media reports, Mr. Bazoum's party said they were being detained under cruel and inhumane conditions. The head of the Presidential Guard, General Abdurrahman Chiani, claimed he now runs Niger, while the junta has appointed ex-finance minister Ali Mohamed Lamine Zain as new prime minister following the coup. A new cabinet has been announced by the junta despite leaders across West Africa demanding an end to the military takeover. The new regime has also closed Niger's airspace until further notice, citing the threat of military intervention from ECOWAS. Meanwhile, Nigeria's former central bank governor and former emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, met with the coup leader in the Nigerian capital, Niamey, in a bid to mediate the crisis. This is the first delegation the coup leader, General Chiani, has met personally, having shunned several envoys, including a delegation from the West African Regional Bloc, ECOWAS. Mr. Sanusi said he had spoken to General Chiani and will deliver a message to the ECOWAS chairman, Nigerian President Bola Tinubu. Report says General Chiani previously snapped Nigeria's religious leader, the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar, U.S. Acting Deputy Secretary of State, Victoria Nuland, and several African Union and UN delegations. The meeting came as ECOWAS heads of state are due to meet in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, to discuss the way forward after the military junta in Niger ignored a deadline to reinstate ousted President Mohamed Bazoum.
Friday ashes in the weekend. Let's see how the weather will pan out across Ghana. Good morning, Frederick Kuja, meteorologist from Ghana Meteo Agency. Hello, Frederick. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Malta.
How is the weather looking like? Sunshine for the weekend outgoers or rains?
Well, a very good morning to all viewers. So from now through to the weekend, more of cloudy conditions will be seen over most places in the country. And then also for the early hours of the mornings, we'll be seeing more of misty conditions and then fog patches, especially over the forest belts, reducing visibility to a range between 3 and then 8 kilometers. Also for southern Ghana, slight rain and then drizzle conditions are anticipated from today through to Sunday. But then for the northern half of the country, thunderstorms and then rainfall activities are anticipated for the northern sector. So some rains again will be experienced, especially over the upper regions, right from Saturday through to Sunday. And then also temperatures generally will be very cool, ranging from 20 degrees Celsius to a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius.
Right. Thank you so much, Freddy Kujo, for those updates. Definitely our outgoers will appreciate it. Some rains, cloudy weather conditions as well as some sunshine. That's it for GTV Breakfast News. There's more news when you log on to the website at gbcghanaonline.com. I am Altiti Saida Sadek. Don't leave us just yet. It's Friday. There's plenty to sample. University of Ghana is in the studio. We're looking at scholarships online too, how to determine fake ones from real ones. I'll be back at 7 with all the